for tuning in to another fun episode with your favorite Mouse Moms, Jennifer.
Hello.
And Lori, that's me. Juliana is off enjoying Hawaii. So I am sure she's having a lovely time there. But this week, we are so excited and honored to have a special guest back, Ashley Kraft, who is the author of the Unofficial Disney Parks Cookbook, the Unofficial Disney Parks Drinks Recipe Book, and now the Unofficial Disney Parks Epcot Cookbook. We are so excited to have the cookbook based all on Epcot. As you know, these Mouse Moms love Epcot. So first, let's hear a little bit about Ashley.
Yeah, so this is not Ashley's first rodeo with us, so I'm sure you guys all remember her, but a little bit of a refresher. She grew up in Anaheim and could definitely recite Star Tours by heart. She could navigate the park without a map, just like our Lori. And she would fall asleep to the sound of Disneyland fireworks each night in her bedroom. Not too shabby. She's like Mouse Mom's dream. After 2 internships in Walt Disney World and many, many more visits to the Disney parks, Ashley is now one of the leading experts of Disneyland and Walt Disney World. And her popular blog, Ashley Crafted, is best known for featuring recipes inspired by Disney parks foods to help people recreate the Disney magic right in their own kitchens. Today, Ashley lives in Kansas with her husband, Danny, and her 3 kids, Elliot, Hazel, and Clifford. I always say this when she's on here, but I love those names. She still makes time to visit the mouse as much as she can. Definitely go follow her blog, ashleycrafted.com. Check her out on all the social media. We're definitely going to post links so that you can easily find her. But let's welcome Ashley. Hey, Ashley.
How's it going?
We always love when you come on. It's such a pleasure.
I have to amend my intro, though, because I moved. I live in Minnesota.
You did?
Yeah.
Minnesota, I mean, still Midwest. But how's that going for you?
I have a different office now. I don't have the Epcot wallpaper anymore. I've got different aaesthetics. So, but
different aesthetics, same Ashley.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we love having you on, and we love that you keep adding to your collection because, like, you know, we do not live near the parks. We definitely have to fly every time we want to get there. And so being able to bring it home for a little bit is really nice, especially on those really tough weeks that we have, like, you know, last week and this week. It's really nice to be able, and maybe next week, it's really nice to be able to go and turn to your cookbooks that are very user-friendly and really accurate in terms of bringing that flavor of Disney home. And and Lori was not kidding. Like, Epcot is our jam. And so this, I think you told us about this on one of the last podcasts. You said, just wait. And we're like, oh my God, this is a dream. So this has been fantastic. So
yes, we're very excited. But before we get into all the questions about the book, we of course have to do our Mouse Get cocktails. So I know you had one picked out for us. So what do you have?
Okay, so if you have your copy of the Unofficial Disney Parks Epcot Cookbook, this is on page 195. This is
I'm following along.
Right?
This is like a read along. So this is the Tokyo Sunset.
This is like a class I could get behind.
This is, oh my God, that's your next project. Yeah, you should do classes. Anyway, yes, Tokyo
Don't think
Sunset.
I haven't thought about it, you know. I've done one tutorial at an elementary school, and I've done two classes at a library. So I have done a little bit, but not anything like serious. Just.
But we need to come back to this.
Yes.
Anyway,
Okay, so this is the Tokyo Sunset. For those of you who don't know, I don't drink alcohol, so I've never actually had the Tokyo Sunset. I have a mixologist who does all of the alcoholic drinks in the book, and she also came up with all the mocktails so that they would match the flavor. So I'm going to teach you how to make the mocktail today. The alcoholic recipe is in the book here, and then the mocktail is in the sidebar. So whichever way you like to do it, we've got something for you. Okay, So I have my little, can we see this set up here? I'll just show my
You
tray.
do have it set up. That's
I know.
awesome.
I'm extra. Everybody knows that. So we have a
All right.
little-
So for anyone that's listening to the podcast, you now need to go on YouTube and you need to watch it because she's actually
Yes.
making it.
She's actually mixing up the drink.
This is definitely worth looking at. Ashley is
It is.
pouring little cups into a big cup. So I've got my tray of ingredients. So we're gonna start with 2 ounces of cranberry juice in the glass. And
All right.
then we have a cocktail shaker that we're gonna put everything else in. So we have 2 ounces of pineapple juice, 1.5 ounces of peach juice. This is peach nectar, but you can use any kind of peach juice. And then 1 ounce of coconut water and a half teaspoon of banana extract.
All right.
All right, so we're gonna cap that. Shake it up. And this had half full of ice, so it gets nice and frosty. And now we're gonna pour it into our glass. Hopefully it's gonna kind of sunset. Pretty color. And then I'm gonna put ice in the glass.
I love it.
Okay.
It's
Taste?
so pretty.
Need your umbrella.
I know. I probably have one. I shouldn't say I don't have one. I didn't look for one. I'm sure I have one somewhere.
So to
Yum.
make this a cocktail, you would replace the coconut, the peach, and the banana with coconut rum, peach schnapps, and banana liqueur. And then you would have an adult version of this. But I love how the book has your cocktail version and then your mocktail version so that you could choose what you want to do. I have to admit something to our Malska Mom listeners. So it's no secret that I despise peach schnapps. Like I have
you did say
an
that.
almost allergic reaction to it. But I've had the Tokyo Sunset and I didn't die. It was really good, actually. So
I would say probably because you're mixing it with cranberry and a pineapple, which is just they're stronger flavors, so you're not going to get hit by that peach schnapps.
Yeah, I got to admit, I didn't even realize that there was peach schnapps in it. I think if I read it, I would not have ordered it. So it's a good thing that I didn't know.
Do you think if you made it at home, you could sub the peach schnapps for the peach juice and then keep
I would
the other
totally do
alcohol?
that. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you would like that better.
Peach juice, I'm all over. Just
I would
the
say
schnapps.
peach juice is yummy. No, I love the mocktails in here too, especially because if you're making them for multiple people, that some aren't drinking with the alcohol, and you know, lots of times we get the fun drinks around Epcot too, and my kids are like, "Oh, that looks fun. Can I try it?" I'm like, No.
And you know what? You could probably make this for a part, like the mocktail version for a party, and then put shot glasses with rum next to it, and they could. Because I don't think you really need the other stuff. I think the rum would be enough to make it a cocktail. That would be fun.
Yes. No.
Always
awesome.
exciting. I love this.
And there is if you have the book, which you should have the book, there is a beautiful picture in there too, right next to Tokyo Sunset. Yeah, it is.
It really is pretty. And if you don't know, this is found in Epcot at the Japan Pavilion. So
yes. So now, all right. So let's get into questions and into this book because I love this book.
Yes. Without further ado.
Yes, without further ado. So we are so excited again to have you back, and we are so excited to go through all things Epcot because that is one of our favorites. First, we love that you focused in on Epcot and all the food and drinks. How long has this one been on your list to do?
I mean, I think for everyone, Epcot stands out as the premier food location at Disney parks. I mean, if you just look at sheer number of restaurants, it just towers over all the rest of the parks. Everything you eat there is good. It's always good. And the festivals just are on top of that. Like all the food that's regularly there is good. And then you add the festivals, that's always incredible. So the bites are continually refreshing. There's always something new to try there. So if you're a foodie, Epcot is your jam. Yeah, for sure. So I feel like as soon as I realized that I might be able to write more than one book, this was on my list. Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like this one naturally, like for an author, it lends itself to like volume 1, volume 2, volume 3.
Well, that would be nice. I haven't thought about that, but that would be a good idea.
It really does, because like you said, the food in this park is constantly being refreshed and changed just with the festivals and I think this is great. This is a great volume 1 because it has all the classics that we go back for on every trip.
Yeah.
So I think that's great, but yeah, I definitely think it lends to itself to volume 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing updates based on the festival foods too. I mean, they at least have 5 or 6 new ones going every festival.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
they do. So this book, we noticed, if you guys have it, you broke everything up differently, which actually I loved. So it was not what I was expecting for Epcot, but in a good way. I think I'm naturally just go like into a breakdown of country by country. But I was pleasantly surprised to see that this was broken down into appetizers, snacks, and then entrees, and then desserts, and then drinks, which really is more on the cookbook side of things. So I think I look at it more as Disney, but this was awesome to have it broken down. So when you're looking at it as a cookbook, you can break these items into it. Was that kind of the thought process behind it, or where did you guys kind of start with that?
When I first when I write a cookbook, I kind of, I have different phases. So I start out with like kind of a sketch phase where you come up with ideas and are putting it down into a rough table of contents. So you're sort of slotting things in to make it balanced and help it out and stuff. So I did start by having it broken down by country because I wanted it to be balanced and wanted to make sure that it was well representative of the countries and the 3 festivals that I highlighted. And so that was how I originally broke it down. And my publisher was actually the one who said, let's break it down by food type. So it'll help people be easier to navigate. And then we can have a map on the back that has the pavilions so that it can break it down that way. And I thought that was a great idea. And that's how my books have gone moving forward. As you'll see, as you already know, I have a Universal book coming out in a couple of months, and that one is broken down also the same way by food type instead of by part of the park. So yeah, I just think it's easier for the home cook to find what they want. But there's also lots of cues in order to tell you what kind of pavilion. I don't know if you noticed that there's little icons that are for each of the different kinds of pavilions. So if you're searching for something, there's a lot of easy ways to get to it in the book.
Yeah, I just think. Yeah, speaking of like that, like you have a map in the back. You have a map of Epcot and where everything goes, which was amazing. Everybody, they're not quite as map friendly as I am. And people get confused going around Epcot. I mean, I got it in the head, but you need the map of Epcot and where everything's located. And I feel like even Disney sometimes misses that boat when it comes to festivals. They have it all listed, but they don't have a user-friendly map to be like, all right, I want this pretzel. Where can I go to get it?
Yeah, you're right.
So the map is awesome in the back. Huge fan of it.
It's awesome for bringing it back to Disney too, because now you can make these items at home and be like, you know what, I need to try that the next time I'm there, and you can see exactly where you can try it. Which is awesome.
Yep.
Which is awesome. I think the other thing that is so cool about the way you formatted the book is that you don't necessarily have to make an entire meal out of one pavilion. You can pick your favorites by, appetizer, entree, dessert, and who cares that one is from Norway and one is from Mexico, and it doesn't matter. I love that.
That's kind of how we all eat at Epcot anyways, right? I mean,
exactly.
If you're like me, I like to have small bites from as many pavilions as I can get to. So it's not like you're having a whole meal that's encompassing one pavilion. You do eat a whole bunch of things throughout the day. So
exactly. Talk about bringing Disney home. That's absolutely true. That's how we all eat in Epcot. I mean, if you do Epcot right, that's how you do it.
Right.
The thing I like about this also, just like your other books, is that you make this really user friendly. I am going to be making the gourmet mac and cheese with boursin garlic and fine herbs this evening because my kids love a good mac and cheese, and it's like, it's easy. It's easy. I love it. Anyone can cook.
That's right. Anyone can cook.
The thing that intimidates me, though, and we talked about it we talked about it a little bit before the podcast started. So I love to cook, love it, because you don't need to be exact. You just throw in a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and 9 times out of 10, it comes out just fine.
Yeah.
But baking scares the holy heck out of me because you do need to be a whole lot more exact. My most favorite thing to eat in Epcot, and the thing I have to get every time I'm there, or it's like, did I even go to Epcot, is the school bread. And there's a recipe in here for school bread, and it scares the pants off of me. Am I going to be able to do this? Walk me through. Help me.
Okay.
Give me pep talk, because this is like, oh, dough. No.
Okay, page 49, class.
See, you need to do this. That is, Ashley, that is how you are going to make me feel comfortable making school bread. We are going to do a class.
That's right. I would love to make that happen. You know, I would. I don't even know where to start with that kind of business.
Right? Yeah, that's true. We can help.
Okay, so school bread, it's true, is a total fan favorite. I will say that I made it easier because instead of using actual custard, I have instant pudding. So
I was just going to say that, like, that makes my heart happy because it's one. Honestly, that part I'm good with because I can follow directions on a box.
Yes.
It's the dough that is having me. So I do not have a dough hook attachment. Can I make this still?
Yeah, you just have to knead it by hand. So and I always say this, we have a great resource at our fingertips, and it's called YouTube. So if you have any questions on technique, if you need to know how to knead, then you should totally Google it, because it's something that maybe you think you know how to do but could use a touch up on. So I always like to use a dough hook or whatever because I like to work smarter than harder. So that's what I'm about. You can also, if you have a stand mixer, you could probably get a dough hook for a couple bucks from Amazon.
Yep.
So
if
I was gonna say I have the mixer, and I think mine came with the dough hook.
If it's a KitchenAid, it should have come with one.
Yeah.
Oh, then I must have one.
But it's just like
I just don't use it because I don't
big, like, you know, hook looking
like Captain
thing, or
Hook?
a spiral looking thing. So yeah, like a Captain Hook. So
okay.
So yeah.
So the machine is going to be baking for me. See, if you say it like that, then it's not as scary.
Yeah. Well, that's like, I tried to avoid hand kneading at all costs because that sounds hard. So yeah, you just follow the directions. I also, about letting rise in a warm place, that one can get tricky just because you want to make sure it's the right amount of rise. If you watch Great British Baking Show, you don't want to overproof anything. Oh my goodness.
I love that show.
Some ovens have a proofing setting, which is great because it's really regulated. You know, it's always going to be the same. My favorite place to rise items is in the laundry room if you have the washer going, because it just adds an ambient heat to the room. You can also, if you're preheating the oven, you can put it on top of the oven and there's heat that rises from the oven. So these are all ways that you can help rise your dishes in a more controlled setting than just putting it in a window or whatever. Because if you have air conditioning on, it can cool that down right away. So those are some hot tips on how to heat up.
Those are important tips. I like it.
I was going to say the school bread, my kids love this. That's the first one I looked at and I was like, but then it's like you said, as soon as you got to the instant vanilla pudding, I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can do
That's why I didn't, this is why I didn't throw it across the room and cry, because I'm like, it's so close yet so far away. But the dough scares me a little bit. But
I will say custard is intimidating. Like
Right?
yeah. So it does help to use vanilla pudding when possible. So other than that, I would
Yeah.
really say just read all the instructions first before you get started, and then just take it step by step. I
Then just
I
do
hope
it.
I wrote it in such a way that makes sense.
I mean, it
And
absolutely makes sense. And again, like I said, I love that you're not afraid of giving us shortcuts because we are not all, Betty Crocker and Julia
that's
Child.
right.
And
Yes.
so anyone can cook. Thank you.
Love
I
it.
think I've said that on this podcast before, that you should never, ever, ever feel ashamed about having store-bought items in your recipes. I actually had someone blast me on Twitter a few weeks ago, which, thank you, people of the internet. You guys are such cuties.
Ay.
But somebody criticized one of my recipes because they said that it was one of the skewer recipes, and they said, oh, I just used like hoisin sauce or something like that rather than using a spice cabinet and whatever. But the thing is that hoisin sauce is a very complicated combination of sauces and spices that somebody has taken the time and energy to make for me. So
Yeah.
we shouldn't feel ashamed about buying a store-bought bottle of something that has been like literally taken decades to create and perfected. Like, that's good. We want to use that. That is good for us, like moms who need help. Like, that's
Right.
fine. If it's a great flavor and it turns out good, then we don't need to criticize it. Like, and
Amen.
I totally clapped back at them and said that. I said,
Good for you.
I'm
Did
not
it
good.
stop
I
them?
never said I'm a Chinese food expert. Never. Like,
No.
I am not making authentic food. I am
But isn't that
copycatting Disney food. That's it.
And isn't that the cool thing about how accessible those items are for us, that now we can bring Chinese food into our homes and have our
Exactly.
kids experience that kind of
Yes.
stuff to make them better eaters and diversify their palate? And,
Yep.
Twitter, come on, Twitter.
I know there are way better skewer recipes and cookbooks out there. Trust me, I am not a cooking expert. But if that's what you're looking for, you're at the wrong cookbook.
Right. And that's fine. And
That's
that is
fine.
fine. You
There's
did not write this cookbook
Thousands
for
of
that.
cookbooks out there.
Sure.
Find the one that you are looking for. I'm happy for you to cook it. You don't need to come and attack me personally.
Absolutely.
No, I am all for anything that saves time, and that's, to me, I'm like, it's stupid too. You could start all the way fresh and get the like you said, the spices for the hoisin sauce, and then you sit there and you made it, and you're like, it's literally that in a jar. I could have just saved all of that time
and money. How much money do you think you spend buying all of the ingredients that you think you probably need to make a hoisin sauce from scratch when you can buy a $5 jar of it? And be done.
What I'm saying.
Agreed.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Mouse Moms are avid travel enthusiasts, and our podcast is sponsored by Kingdom and Cruise Travel. If you're interested in booking a vacation to Disney or any other worldwide destination, be sure to check out our website, kingdomandcruise.com, and our Facebook page at Kingdom and Cruise Travel.
Agreed.
All right. So a lot of these recipes, some of these, or a lot of these are from the festivals. Do you have a favorite festival?
Obviously that's tough because
hard, right?
I know you feel the same way. I really have a place in my heart for the Festival of the Arts. I think it's so special. I love all the color. I love seeing all the paintings. I haven't ever actually bought one, but one of these days I'm going to take my checkbook and get something great for my house. Like, I will do it. And I love the last time I was there, I got to see the Broadway series, and that was really cool. So I like that a lot.
The only thing I do not like about the Festival of the Arts is that it is so short.
Yeah, it's tiny.
So short.
I know, you really have to hit it right on.
You really do.
It's true. But also I feel like that kind of makes it special. Like, if you are there for that, it's sort of like, oh, I got to do something really cool, like that not everybody did. So
yeah, I would say on the paintings and that, I was there one year for opening day, and we were like walking around, and I was like, I want to buy a picture. I want to buy a painting. I want to do it. And I went around and Thomas Kincaid had a booth set up.
Yeah.
And it was the first day. And I think we made it around there by 2:00. And I found the painting I wanted. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. It sold out. I'm like, you were on day one. And she's like, I'm sorry. And I have it in my office now because I found it on Shop Disney much later on because it got so popular that Shop Disney actually took it and put it on their website. And it was the Thomas Kincaid 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. But we went around to different things. And there are people there that get very into this festival for the arts. And they actually will go around. I mean, people are coming out with huge bags of paintings. Yeah. And they were saying it's not uncommon for this stuff to sell out the first day. So it is a huge thing, all of that painting or all of the paintings and the artists there and everything else. Mm-hmm. There are some cool artists actually there signing their stuff too, which I thought was really cool. And I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I would love to do is like go and see an artist and buy like an original with them signing it. Like that would be big goals. That would be really cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Someday.
Yes. All right. So speaking of pictures too, this book is filled of pictures.
Yes.
It has so many beautiful, colorful photos. I feel like you guys upped your photos in this book.
Definitely.
What was the photo process like? Because these are gorgeous and they have beautiful backgrounds too, depending on where they're located.
Just like all my books, the photographs are done by a photography firm called HarperCollins. They're out of California. So they actually take my recipes and create the food in studio and then photograph them. So it is amazing. It's so great that they have such great resources. One of my favorite days in the publication process is that I get the mood board. They send me a PowerPoint presentation that has all of the inspirations for each of the photos and then each of the props that they're going to buy and the backgrounds and all that. And so I get to see what it's going to look like for each of the photographs. And I just love it because every time I'm just thrilled out of my mind, like insanely excited. They do such a good job. I feel like they hit every time. And one of the major feedback from the first book was that there wasn't enough pictures. So this book has a third more pictures than the first book does. So definitely feels like when you flip it, you're seeing a lot more pictures than you did in the first book. So
it really does bring so much to the cookbooks just because you eat with your eyes first. Isn't that what they say? Yep. And so being able to see these and recognize your favorites or see things that you haven't tried before. I mean, I think that's how I look at it first. You flip through, you look at the pictures and you're like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, I want to try that. Mm-hmm. So what a cool process for you.
Yeah. And these photos too, like the one, if you guys are watching, the one that I was looking at was the strawberry mousse. It's out of flower. It's the Flower and Garden Festival, and they put the flowers behind it, and it looks like it's on a tray. It looks like it's at Epcot from Flower and Garden. It's awesome. And the next one was
sitting on a trash can though, because then it would be like.
So I will say it took me a second to look because I'm like, right?
Like, I think that's definitely feedback for your publisher.
That's right. Next time, if you could get this on like a tiny, tiny table or like a trash can, or on your railing or on your knee, that would be great.
That'd be awesome. But yeah, there's just little touches. Like they have banana bread with mixed berry compote, and that's from Simmering Sips. So it looks like they put the bubbles from the Simmering Sips in the background. Like they're just really cool pictures.
They're extremely thoughtful. They really do.
Yeah, they're extremely thoughtful. It's really cool. So huge fan of the pictures. All right. So the recipes, are there any items that did not make the book that you wanted them to, or did everything that you wanted?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think. I always start with my favorites. So, I make sure I get that in. I don't know. I wrote this like a year ago. It's hard for me to remember. And so many books down the line now, it's hard to even remember what I was considering. But some pavilions do have more than others, and my publisher was very adamant about balancing them. So that was a little tough because I think that there was a lot of like French recipes that I wanted to put in and had to balance it out with recipes from other pavilions. And like I'm not sure I even have an example in my head of what that would be, but I think we can all agree that some pavilions have food that we prefer more than others, and so that is just trying to balance it. So I think sometimes I had to do that, like pick one over another just because of balance. But I do think
there's
all
your-
of these turned out really great and got favorites. When I was writing the book, I visited Epcot a lot. I probably went 4 times just for this book. So I went to every festival at least once. And so I did a lot of research, but I went to the cast members who were working in each pavilion and asked them personally what the most popular food items are in the whole pavilion, either at a specific restaurant or in the pavilion as a whole. And so I think that gave me a lot of great insight that I might not have been able to understand without having that like on the ground knowledge. So I really think that something that makes my book special is the amount of work that I put in, and really trying to understand what everybody loves and not just me. Like, I don't want to put my own biases in. I want to make a book that everybody wants and everybody loves and has all the food that people like. So like the Mexico recipes, I'm just remembering that I went when I asked the cast members what the most popular food was at the restaurant inside the Mexico pavilion, I think that they said that the queso fundido was like really popular, and I had not heard of that or seen it or tasted it before. And so I was like, oh, I don't even know what that is. And they're like, yeah, everybody gets it. So it's like, oh, that's great. Like, I'm totally going to put that in my book because I want to have what everybody loves.
So was there a popular item that you wound up putting in the book that you were like, I'm not a fan, but I should put it in because it's so many people like it?
There might have been some that felt that way. So like I said, I do like a rough table of contents, and then I go to the parks and refine it. So I taste the food that I have on the list, and then I try foods that are outside of the list and then sub in and out ones like that. So for instance, I had the like Impossible Hot Pot from Rose and Crown on the list. And I think I expected to not like it because I don't actually like shepherd's pie or like casseroles that have meat and potatoes. And so I probably was like on the fence about that one. And then I ended up loving it, like so good. I thought it was one of the best bites of the day. And I've made it at home, obviously, a few times, and it's always a favorite. So like, you never know, like you gotta get there, try it and see. But that was an example of something that surprised me how much I liked it.
Do you have a favorite, either a favorite that you like to eat from this book or a favorite that you like to cook from this book?
Probably
It's a hard one.
Thought about
it's
that.
like when somebody asks you what your favorite festival is.
I know, right? I do I make the pizza pretty often. I like making pizza at home. I did a TikTok video making the pizza. So, I mean, nobody follows me on TikTok, so nobody has seen this video. But if you look me up on TikTok, you can see me making the pizza. But it's very easy to make and you make a delicious homemade pizza right away. So I love that one. I do love the queso fundido. That's become one of my favorites. I also, where is it? The cookies, caramel apple oatmeal cookie with pecans from the Germany pavilion with the Werther's caramel. That one is so great because it's like, I feel like people make cookies all the time to take to an event or a friend's house or something, or to drop off to someone. And you just kind of go for chocolate chip or whatever you have. And this is honestly like, it probably has one more step than a chocolate chip cookie, like not that much harder. But it's such a surprising, delicious flavor. And it really like throws people off how, what is in this? Like, it's so good. It's got like chewy caramel and it has dehydrated apples in it. So it's just the flavor of apple comes through without really the texture. So Yeah,
I'm gonna have to make this one now.
Lori's vigorously taking notes.
Yep, I am.
So what else can we expect from you? I know you have your Universal Cookbook coming up. What else? Anything else in the works?
Of course.
Anything that you're going to tell us about?
Yes.
Probably not. Yeah, so for those who didn't hear, I do have a Universal book coming out October 25th. So it actually got moved up. So that's exciting. So we will have it squarely before the Thanksgiving shopping season. So hopefully we'll have it in stock and not out of stock at that time. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. So we've got a lot of Harry Potter recipes in there. A good chunk of the book is Harry Potter recipes. So if you're looking forward to those things, we also have Jurassic recipes, Minions, Simpsons, Dr. Seuss. So all of your favorite Universal properties. I think that Universal has really upped their game with food. I think they're trying to get to that level that Disney has. They also have festivals and things, so they're really have upped the ante lately. So I'm super excited to bring this book, which doesn't really exist at all, to the market. And then I am currently writing a book, another Disney themed book. So you can look out for that. I think summer 2023.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So we have a Mouska tip, as always. We always have tips that we can give for our listeners, and this one is no surprise, super easy. Buy Ashley's book. If you're listening to us, you know that one of our favorite topics is Disney food and drinks. So this, and then of course, as we've said multiple times on this episode, Epcot is our favorite. So this book is an absolute must for everyone. It's already being sold on Amazon. And so go ahead and pick that one up, and you can make all your favorite dishes at home too, just like us. And I'm going to try that school bread. I might call you for backup.
That's right. I'm on call. Just anybody who's at home making this, my home phone number, just
Flash it across the screen. You got a number.
I just told you people are blasting me on Twitter. I don't need people calling me.
All right. Well,
no
thank
harassing.
you, Ashley, for joining us, and thank you for spending another episode with us. If you have tried some of the recipes from her Unofficial Disney Parks Epcot Cookbook, you can share those on our Facebook page. And you can join our Facebook page at Mouska Moms Podcast. And don't forget to visit our blog as well, because we'll have a blog article up for this podcast and all about this book at mouskamoms with an S blog.com.